Like Hello City, hello world. Whew, welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection. I'm D-Nice. I just couldn't help but just sit back and listen to the last song, What's Going On. It was so prolific. The question of the day, what's really going on? Whew, yeah, so let me slow down and reverse the role for a second, because now we're into the Gospel Jazz Connection. Well, there's some Chuck Mangione, Chase the Clouds Away, and I wish they would, because this rain is a little too much. Nobody seems to know how to drive in it, but you know what? The Bible said it rains on the just and the unjust, so that's what we got to deal with. So today is no different. At the Gospel Jazz Connection, each and every week what we do is we bring Bible topics that relate to instances, to daily activities, whether it be physical, mental, or spiritual. And we talk to a panel of experts who have walked it, talked it, lived it. And we come up with some viable solutions for you to choose from and put in your own style. Hopefully it just helps you make life a little easier for yourself. So that's what we do each and every week on the Gospel Jazz Connection. So for the next 30 minutes, for the next 60 minutes, let's double that time. We're going to sit back, relax, and watch with your ears. Now, ladies and gentlemen in Radio Land, let's meet the players. Here we go. Coming out of box number 1, on my far left, this young man has been in the music industry for quite a long time. We played his CD quite a few times here, and we will continue to pitch his CD because it's smooth jazz, and I like that smooth jazz. That saxophone talks to us. So here's the guy that makes that sax talk to us, and he brings his opinion to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the Kerry Sims.
Good evening. Welcome. How's everyone doing?
Man, good to have you here, man, on this cloudy day, man. How you been, brother?
I've been busy.
I can see.
I've been busy. It's been great, though.
But that's a good thing, though, right?
It's been great. Very productive.
Okay.
Very productive.
And you're working with a new program that you're doing right now, your other entrepreneurship endeavor, right?
Exactly.
Right. So talk to us a little bit about that right quick before we go into it.
One of my endeavors is to fire on all pistons.
Okay.
And I happen to have 18.
Okay.
Some people got 6 cylinders. I got 18.
I got 4. I'm economical. Go ahead.
Well, the gas. No, basically, besides the music, I decided to just start another business for myself because I enjoy working for myself. Now, this isn't something that I've done before. I mean, that I hadn't done before.
Okay.
I just technically located it from the Northwest to Southern California.
Okay.
And started to reinitiate it. And it's just Triple I LLC, my carpet, floors, and upholstery cleaning business.
Okay.
And so we've just been from the marketing aspect to the web page to the decaling to bookings and everything, just making everything in this city legitimate like it was where I was at.
I love it. I look forward to using your services with my office too, so it's upcoming as soon as this rain gets out of here, man. It's crazy. All right, thank you, and we look forward to hearing more from you in a minute on the conversation for today. Our next candidate for discussion, this lady is a household name, and it feels when I went to a Black Business Association dinner yesterday, and she wasn't there, but her name is still ringing, and they were with Danny Bakewell, and they were honoring some very astute people last night. And it was good to see all the old people, and they were wondering, you guys still doing the Gospel Jazz Connection as well as Women of Prominence? And Linda started back years ago as one of our top hostesses after Marla stepped out and did her thing. And Linda, and as I was telling somebody the other day and telling you guys that don't know, the first year out of the gate with a new show, Women of Prominence, we got a Cable Ace for Best New Show of the Year. And so we've been moving forward ever since. We were that show that weren't even supposed to be on cable. because it was too high caliber and class a show to be there. But we did what we did, and we just did the spirit of excellence even then coming into the game, and that's what we're still doing. So this young lady is a well-renowned author. She is a mother, she's a wife, she's a grandmother, she's a health coach, she's a vocal coach, she's also a public speaker and a trainer. She's done all from the corporate side all the way to this side, which is now sitting with us here on the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one, the only Miss Linda Coleman Willis. Linda, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Good evening. Hi, guys. Hey. Excellent.
How's it going?
Excellent. I am a professional speaker, even though I'm not a voice coach. But
not
I can
yet.
get you.
Speak those things as they were. Okay.
But if you want to speak, and not only am I a professional speaker, actually I'm an entrepreneur and a business coach.
Right.
So if you're a speaker and you're only speaking, I help you turn that into a business. If you're a writer and you're only writing, I help you turn that into a business. So a lot of people don't understand that their talents can be their business, the thing that they love to do. So I'm a coach, consultant, and I do a lot of training. I had a training in Long Beach today, so drove in from Long Beach. But I'm excited to be part of this experience. I did my own radio show once upon a time. Some of you may remember the Motivational Power Hour, the Hour of Empowerment, and that was on AM 1230. And then, of course, Women of Prominence, Women of Promise, and we're currently doing the Millennial Journal. And so I'm excited about that. Those millennials that may be listening, and maybe they want to get involved in that show. It's a safe place to have a great conversation. We're not judging. We are sharing information.
Right. That's a good thing. Cause,
conversation.
Yeah, they brought that up last night about our millennials, and that was the red carpet did. Everybody was saying the same thing because we stood on the shoulders. At our generation right now, we've stood on the shoulders of those predecessors that were out there getting beat down and bitten and, ostracized by the police and whatever. And these young people haven't had that taste of it. Although we do have some craziness with, our young people getting harassed and shot by the police, it's not as bad as when our predecessors came through. So they were the interracial spark that motivated us and brought in this conversation that brought it now where it's interracially now, because there are other nationalities that have realized that, there is something significant about what we do and what we've been through to get us where we're going. And so that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's all about our community and our community only.
No,
but at least, like I said, we have set a precedence, and now people are starting to understand what it is.
Right.
And that's a good thing. So we got to keep the conversation going with these youngsters, and for the young people to sit back and somehow connect and listen to us, then we're doing something as long as we're giving the right message.
We are communicating. They don't have to listen to us.
No.
We are listening to each other.
Right.
So we want them to understand that they're valued.
Yes.
And we have value. So we're both bringing value to the table. And the last one I did wasn't about African Americans at all. I was the only African American present. And another place is showing up really big is in the churches.
Right.
They're trying to figure out how do we reach out to these young people who a lot of them are not raised in church. They come to church looking for something completely different.
Right.
So there is not a corporate America. How do we hire them and how do we manage them?
Right.
So it's a whole new world, and we are still living in it. So we have to learn how to live in their world, and they have to learn how to exist in our world. And it's very interesting, actually, for me and for you too, Dee.
Yeah.
Right? It's an
yes, it is.
topic.
And I'm glad that we took that show on to understand and
So
kind of
am
bridge
I.
that gap. That's a good thing.
We bridge that
Thanks a
gap.
lot, and we look forward to another part of the conversation, the second level on that one, when we talk about our subject today. Now, coming in on the right side of the panel today, as you look through the camera and see him right here, the one, the only. This guy's been around for, I don't even want to say how long he's been around for, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you listen to some of these old school oldies but goodies, and he's had his hand in it, whether he's wrote them, produced them, or whatever. And I'm looking at the copyright on some of these dates now, and so I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to do that now. Once you know somebody, you start looking a little deeper. Yeah, so that means you've been in the game for quite a while. Well,
I was young. I was young.
I got you. And,
really young.
Right. And so this guy also, like I said, is a major. They call him Box because he is just personified what it sounds like. Everybody knows off the top of his head, Box. They know Roger and Zap. But he wasn't the only one that had the market on corner on that. Troy's been out there doing the same, using the same instrument and doing it his way, his style. And that's what he does. He's wrote, produced, just monitored different musical scenarios. He's helping other groups get started. He's a part of several other groups that he's starting and becoming parts of other groups. So, man, you're doing a lot out there. And then you're getting ready to do something on your own, too, I'm thinking. So I'm gonna let you tell us about this one here. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Troy Box Mason.
How's everybody doing?
Troy, come on.
Everybody's good?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
now.
All right. I don't really talk too much, but outside this mic.
Everybody bust up, huh?
Really?
Hey, yeah, I had to pause at that myself. Right now, my hair's been buried in the studio.
Okay.
I'm with the group right now. It's called Funkalicious, and we've been in the studio for the last 2 weeks, and we just finished the first single, which is Snakes and Snails.
Okay.
And I just finished mastering it. So other than that, I just been in the studio. That's it.
Oh, that's cool, man, because that's the workshop.
Yeah, I want some rest.
That's
right about
hey, you know what? I got you. And it looks like we're having a couple of rainy days, so hopefully you can get some rest, right?
Hopefully.
But you know what? There's no rest for the weary. That's what they say. And the wicked. Those two factors don't get any rest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gospel Jazz Connection. I'm D Nice, and now we're going to get into the panel discussion we have today, which was a very good one. It was submitted by some of our listeners, and people have different interpretations of Friends. I do too. You know, they got a song out there. I think it was Houdini, Friends. How many of us have them? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was very
Houdini, yeah.
it was a very prolific song because it told. Now I looked through my book, and like I said, I went to the event last night, and I look at some of the people that I started out with years ago when they were just everybody was faking it to make it, and here in LA, everybody was doing it, and some of the same people are still faking it till they make it, and they want to look at you and they say, "Oh man, you look good" or whatever, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I don't blow smoke up my own rump. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, good, okay? Thank you for sharing. Okay, but it was good to see them, but a lot of them are still doing the same thing. And so it lets me count my blessings because I'm like, wow, Lord, you know what? I haven't lost anything that I started with 20 years ago. In fact, everything's always going to the next level. You're seeing people dying out or losing it or whatever. And so you could either pop your collar or you could sit back and say, Lord, thank you, because I know you got me on track.
That's right.
And when you do that, you give him glory. You lift him up, and he draws all men into him. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you get rewarded for doing your good. And that's our journey down here, is to do things that lift him up, because all strength as a Christian comes from him. I'm not trying to be on a soapbox right now, but I'm just stating that's my opinion. So now that maybe just kind of listen and watch more so this year what my interpretation of friend really is, and trying to decipher and discern what really people are bringing to the table. I call it synergy now. So if I'm going in a direction and people don't have the synergy that I have, not the energy, but the synergy, if I can't find out who you are, what you're doing, and where you're going, and see how it intercedes and intersects and intertwines with what I'm doing in some way, that's called a synergy, then it's good for me just to go ahead and just give you a high five and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Because that's your journey. I have my journey. You know what I'm saying? So that's the question for today, guys. Friends, we can say friends. Are they really what? Let's give us interpretations of what friends are in your life, in your way, and how we can decide the different levels of friendships. Because there are different levels of friendships. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, let's start the conversation. And we usually always started out with our fabulous Linda Coleman Willis. So, you know what I'm saying? Linda, you know what I'm saying, grace us with, you know what I'm saying, some of your wisdom on that one. And the conversation, ladies and gentlemen, at the Gospel Jazz Connection has just begun.
Well, my interpretation, I guess you would say, is that I have basically 3 categories of friends. There are casual people, and I'm the kind of person that I love people, and the kind of work I do bringing me into contact with people. So you can be a casual friend. I could have hundreds of casual friends. That's people that I know and they know me. But then there are personal friends who I pull in a little closer. And those are the people that, as you just spoke about, I usually have something in common with them. Or maybe they need my help or my support or my service, but we can communicate. And so they become a personal friend. And you can go from casual to personal. You can start out casual and go to personal. But the person who really intersects my life, I call them intimate friends.
Okay.
They're on the inside. We can talk to each other. They know my secrets. I know their secrets. They tell me the truth, and I tell them the truth. We don't tear each other down. We build each other up. There's an intimacy. And then that fourth, of course, is the romantic interest, which is probably starts out as all 3 of those and then end up being maybe that partner. But there are those 3 levels that can remain on those 3 levels. There are people I've known a long time, and they're still casual friends. They'll always be casual friends.
Right.
So I have my standards for the intimate friends. And I'm sure we wouldn't become intimate if they didn't have similar standards, at least, or
Gotcha.
values or goals or something that pulls us together and keeps us together. And that's how I evaluate.
Right. So you've been married for
25 years.
25 years. So that's that other side. That's that fourth category you
That
said.
started out as a business relationship.
Really? Okay.
I was in real estate. I sold him a house. I sold his friend a house.
Okay. You said this guy got intelligence and money.
I had his credit. I had everything but his fingerprints. I had his credit report. But let me say that was a business relationship that took 4 years to turn into something else. But
you checked him out.
I checked him out.
You know she did. Hey, you came from the business arena, so you know she's going to check at the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't play. So did you say a business? Did mention business relationships too?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I said I didn't, but I consider that kind of like business is a whole separate category.
Okay.
Because I don't mix. Especially in the beginning, I don't mix business and then friendship. If we're business in the beginning. Now, I have clients I've coached.
Right.
And I've set up a private group, Facebook group, networking group, where we can talk to each other and I can continue to support them in their journey that they're on. So, yes, I do have... That's business is a little different, but sometimes they enter into one of those other areas.
Okay, the blurred line.
Well, I wouldn't call it blurred. They deserve to be there.
Okay,
if they enter into that intimate relationship, not the physical relationship with the significant other, but the intimacy. Barbara Sykes, that was my girl.
I know she was.
Lost her a few years ago. But there's nothing I wouldn't do for her. There's nothing she wouldn't do for me. We were so close. And I had not known her all my life. I have people I've known all my life.
Right.
And we weren't that close. So there are, there are people that just, it happens that way.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing when you find somebody like that, because she was sorely missed. She'll be sorely missed. I got a chance to meet her. Yeah, when she came down and did with you when they did the Women of Prominence Day at the music conference when you guys were doing it, and you had a trifecta on the panel with the other young lady who was the attorney. And so I'm just saying, see, those are kind of friendships like that you see where people kind of like, rock each other like that. That's a cool thing to see.
There was no jealousy. If she saw an opportunity for me, she called me and set it up. If I saw an opportunity for her, same thing. There are people out there, I'll be the last person they call because we're doing something similar or the same thing. and they just not gonna call me.
And it was a good thing because guys, if you didn't get a chance to know, if you didn't get a chance to meet her, I mean, she was world renowned. She wrote books. She was. I mean,
She owned a publishing company. in the
first.
Inland
Wasn't she
Empire.
one of the first black women that had a publishing company? Something. She was just
She
a
was the
groundbreaker.
only, well, Dr. Rosie Milligan, but she was in the Inland Empire.
Right. Yeah. So she was
Yeah.
doing some things, and then you guys were running together like that with no jealousy and whatever.
No
You could just tell the
jealousy.
flow was just a good flow. So yeah, that's hard to find those people nowadays.
You have to develop that kind of relationship.
Right.
though.
Right.
That's the
okay.
key.
I
That's
got
the
you.
key.
I got
You
you.
have to
You have to
develop
be
that.
similar, because if I was a taker,
Right.
because she was a giver, I was a taker, but I'm a giver too. So we supported each other. If she needed a keynote speaker, I came and I spoke at her event. If I needed we did an event up here together, for several times actually. So it took. We developed that relationship. We trusted each
It
other,
was equal.
and we had we were both African American business women. out
We had a
there.
lot in common.
Yeah, we had a lot in common. That's it. We had a lot in common.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Okay. Weigh in. Troy, you ready? I see you biting at the bit. You ready?
Oh no, I'm not really, but yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, come rock with
Hey,
it.
Say he stay
I
ready.
stay ready.
The camera's on you, so you better come on with it. Yeah.
What you like Linda say, there's a lot of things that she said I agree with. You have certain levels, of course, of friends, and like you say, you have your associates, you have your friends. Also, like what you said, you have your closer friends that you can discuss some private things with, and then you have one that is family. It's just family. And I just want to give you a shout out there, Wayman Drake. Wayman Drake, or Officer Wayman Drake, is that's my brother.
Okay.
And when I say family, that's family. I'm Uncle Troy to his kids. That's Papa's brother, the whole thing. But we had to develop that. And we've been knowing each other over 6 years. And I'm dating myself, but we met each other in, 10th and 11th grade. And we fuss, and we had different opinions on some things, and we fussed, but we never went to blows.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, when you have a friend that you've had for 35 years and you're still friends, what kind of things is required to keep a relationship, whether it's a marriage or a friendship?
Oh.
What's required to
Trust.
Trust. Okay. Okay.
We grew up together, but he does have his ways and I have mine. But we're more compatible in our being. I actually went further in the Lord than he did. And sometimes he'll call me, well, I know. I say, look, man, don't worry about all that. You believe in the Lord, and, we'll go from there.
Is that one of your standards?
Huh?
Is that one of your standards?
No, because I was out there before God called me, but we did everything together. But there's that level of trust. There's have to be some trust in there. As they say, so we got the guide code, the guide code, you don't do this, you don't do that, whatever.
Right.
Those were just certain standards we put up. And,
You don't push up on each other's girl.
Yeah,
you don't.
If I got divorced, you don't go to.
Right.
You don't give with my
Okay.
divorce.
Okay.
You don't give with my ex over there. You know what I mean? Because if you did, I'm looking at you sideways because you was always looking.
Right.
But it's the same thing.
Mr. D. Carey Sims. Yes, give us your
He over there
forte
biting
on
his lip.
Yeah. Come on with this.
starting with two, just right off the top, I have 3 guys that are brothers, actually, that are my friends, Terry Case and Jess Burrell and Mike Huff. Mike Huff used to play drums for me in a band I used to have called Zoe. Life is a Greek word for life, and the God kind of life. And so one time, I'm talking about how good best friends we were. I wasn't doing something he wanted me to do as a leader. And so as a leader, I couldn't satisfy everybody's wants, and so I knew that. But we were playing in front of like maybe 30, 40 people in a coffee shop I used to be an owner of in Portland. And he was behind me saying, if you don't do what I need you to do, I'm going to quit. And we were in front of these people, and we were playing, right? And so I turned around and said, look, you can pack your drums up, and you can go right now, right? So he got up, packed his drums in the middle of the set, and left. And it didn't hurt us because it was a drummer sitting in the audience. So I told him, go get your drums and going up here, and the show kept on going.
Right.
But it took us a year for us to come back together and talk. I wasn't upset with him. He didn't know how to recover. You know what I mean? So he was going through a very adverse time in his life. He had developed diabetes. There's a lot of things that was going on with him, and he didn't articulate that all the way to us, as his unit, his friends. And so, things happen. One of my buddies, Jeff.
Wait, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, I want to ask a question about that too.
Yeah. Okay. So how long were you guys friends before that happened?
20 years.
20 years?
Yeah.
And you didn't know? So you would have to kind of consider him maybe not an intimate friend?
No. He didn't tell us.
20 years?
But
Wow.
see, that's the thing about being a good friend. I don't think that
don't
all
ask.
my friends. No. His health. There was no indication from the outside that he was sick.
Right.
There was no indication. You can't just
But
assume.
don't you think he told somebody?
His wife.
Oh, okay.
What, diabetes?
Yeah.
On diabetes?
Yeah.
Let me interject for a second there, because I was 6 years ago with Dr. Max, the guy I'm dealing with. I was a full blown in the hospital, 700 blood sugar, and that's comatose. And because I was on craft services, always eating sugar, because at night you're working, and I was full blown. And now 6 years later, God has reversed that.
Right.
So I didn't even know it.
Did
I'm
you
driving
keep that
down
to yourself? Was
Whatever.
there someone you shared that with?
Well,
Did
me
you
and
keep it
Monica
to
were driving
yourself?
down Crenshaw Boulevard, and I'm looking up, and you know how you going down Crenshaw, mid-Crenshaw, right? And here it is, just past Jefferson, going towards the mall, and those signs are pretty big. I'm looking up at the signs now, and I can't even see the signs are blurry. And I'm sitting there thinking, so when I went down to my friend doctors, my friends, right? Then they said, oh, you know what, take this pill or whatever. But they didn't tell me what it was until one day, about a week later, then I was at a Starbucks, and I was feeling queasy, so I went and got 7-Up. And little did I know I was driving more sugar, so it just full-blown threw it and blew it up. And so when we called Dr. Maxey, then Maxey said, take him over to Centinela. I didn't even have time to go to my spot over here, which is
Now,
Sinai.
Can I ask you a quick question? I want to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
You know you just took over the conversation.
No, but listen, no,
I know your
I
point.
just wanted to make a point.
Yeah.
See, but I didn't know. I did, because everybody was saying, Dr. Maxey didn't even tell me. He said, take these pills. He didn't say you're on set diabetes. He didn't say nothing until 2 weeks later. I was sitting there in the emergency room with stuff floating in me. See, diabetes is a very tricky situation. I just want to explain that one there.
I think ours is not about the diabetes. It's about the fact that someone could be in your life for 20 years,
right.
and you're trying to figure out what kind of relationship.
Right, but there's cancer or something. But see, I've been around people twice in my life that had cancer and didn't tell me, and died on me when they had cancer and didn't tell me. Now that's messed up to me.
The thing about a friend, you got to give them space to be an individual.
Well, I just cut him off to bring this up.
Can I get back? Can I get back?
Hold that thought for a second, please. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I was just trying to figure out why, if that's your friend and he a doctor, he just didn't take you in there and run no tests.
But see,
here's the thing.
things happen the way they do. I'm always buffed out, so I'm looking buffed out, and so I don't look like I got it. But I had it, dude. That's what I'm saying. Don't go by the cover. And other people tell me, don't let my doctor be
I got
friends.
another friend that's a doctor also. He's a surgeon, but I would go ask him.
But
or sometimes he'll look at me and say, man,
but all my doctors, I have three friends.
That's a good point.
I have three friends that are doctors, that I stay buffed out.
Sir,
so I don't look like nothing
can I say
going
something
on.
real
Go
quick?
ahead, please.
Back to what I was trying to say.
Okay, please, go ahead.
and my question was, since everybody jumping
Back
in,
to what
my
I'm trying trying to
question
say.
is,
Hang on for a
why
second.
you didn't go?
Hang on for a second.
go
You guys
see
are
your
assuming.
friend.
You guys are filling in the blanks.
Right. Go ahead.
You're filling in the blanks way
Okay.
too much. The argument was a byproduct of his blood sugar going up and down, and from that he realized there was something wrong.
Okay.
You understand? Hindsight's 2020. After we came back together, then he began to talk about his health issues, things he was going through, and support him until now. I mean, same thing.
Well,
but at the
I think we're
time,
off
May I ask
topic
my
because
question?
we're not really talking about the illness.
No, he was just answering your question
No,
because it
he
was like
didn't
almost
answer
like.
my question. He didn't. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. That's off top. What my
Right.
question was, we were talking about levels of friendship.
Right.
Right.
And I asked him on his level, if he had levels, maybe he doesn't. Where did that guy fit in? Because if he's not telling him that he's ill, maybe he didn't see him as intimate. I was trying to just figure out what kind
That's
of
a good point.
relationship
I
we
got it.
had.
That's good.
what I was.
Yeah, that's a good
so,
point,
So
okay.
we
Yeah.
won't put.
So-
we don't fill in the blanks.
I
Yeah,
got
we
you.
don't fill
So
in the
let's talk
blanks.
about the level of Let's take that for example. Just marinate that first,
Would
and
you
then go
say
on.
he was?
What kind of friend was he to you at
Would
the
you
time?
label it? Because we don't know.
Yeah.
I said my brother.
Oh, so he was very
He
close
was
to
like
you
your
Yes,
brother.
yes.
Oh, and he still didn't share with you.
Yes. No, he did share with us.
after.
On
Yes,
stage?
he didn't
Afterwards.
know that he
After.
had the sickness. You guys are filling in the blank.
No.
Can I tell my story?
No,
Can I tell my story?
Because you don't know. You got ups and downs. You're right.
Exactly. Can I finish my story?
Yes, you
and
can.
then we can go talk
No,
about
I got
some
you.
stuff.
Can I have my question?
No,
One second.
no,
go ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
question. You clarify.
No other questions.
Clarify. Go
Now,
ahead.
thank you, Your Honor. Jesus. Now, Jess Burrell, a friend of mine. This is so funny. Not this, just this process. He could tell in my voice that there was something wrong with me one time. He flew from New York to California because he could hear it in my voice that something wasn't right. Terry Kaysen, real good friend of mine, he checks in on me every day. We check in on each other every day, just call every day to see what's going on.
Right.
So I have one friend that we can pick up from wherever we left off, and it's just we buds. Even if we had an argument, that's my brother.
Okay.
Now, everything about his life, I don't have to get into for him to be qualified as my brother. This was qualified by other dynamics with him as an individual because he has so many other characteristics, so many qualifications, and he's a good brother, a good guy, and real strong friend and a brother. But my interpretation of being a friend on those three different levels, because there's three different manifestations of situations that took place, how we navigated them. I think a friend is somebody, or the friendships that I've had that I call friends, we navigate difficulties, not no cookie cutter saying we got to do everything one way. We would take the situation and deal with it according to the situation, and I like the fact that we were pliable to flow in any direction to deal with the need, and that gave people room to be individuals. So we accept our interpretation, my friends, my boys, for us to accept one another is to accept one another. They don't have to meet a certain criteria. Some of them got divorced. They still my friend. You know what I mean? We didn't shun them. Some of them child that had deaths in the family. We didn't shun them. You know, when they went through various things in their lives. There's a lot that we are complicated.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to ask
Since we have
mine
an
afterwards.
audience listening to what you're saying, what do you call it? What is it when you are that committed? What is it so that people who are listening, they're not in your life, we're not in your life, they're not in your life, but maybe they're trying to measure this same kind of thing. That's our topic tonight. So when you say, do you have any kind of description of what that means or how you're evaluating that?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love. Okay.
Okay.
See, the description, you know, over time, because I would get to that in my talk about my friendships. You know, that we have unconditional love for one another, and I was describing it by when I said each person is allowed to be who they are.
Do you think that I automatically thought unconditional love until you said it?
I wasn't finished.
No, but I'm asking you. Do you think that that's where my mind went?
I was talking about my friends.
That's
Okay,
the
I
point.
have one
you were
question.
talking about your friends,
So
but I thought we were trying to give people some.
I'm about to go there.
Okay, may I ask a question, please,
I'm about to
before
go
I
there.
lose
I'm about
it,
to
because
go
it's
there.
gonna go. It's gonna go somewhere. Okay.
But is it a question towards his needs right now, or what he's saying?
No. The question is, what I was trying to ask way back before it went everywhere else, is that you said, well, Linda was talking about the different levels. You said, Carrie, you said there wasn't different levels, but then you said that one can hear in your voice, and he flew down, and then you said you have one that you talk to every day. But I wanted to know about the one that, y'all had the argument. I understand that, that happens among, your boys and everything. But it said it took a whole year to get back. So there is some type of different levels there, because I couldn't do that with my boy Wayman. I hear something, I'm there. He hears something, and like you said, there can be months, years go by, and you can still pick up. I understand all that, but I was just trying to, because it went real fast. I just wondered, see, just me. If you say that's your brother, I'm going to go find you. Even though we got upset, the next day is the next day. I'm not going to let a year go by. That's just me.
We didn't even go into
Okay.
that.
The guy.
Yeah.
The guy.
No, you
the
guys
guy,
are filling in the blank.
Okay,
No, that's what you said.
Questions.
Okay,
And that's a
okay.
question.
That's what your audience is doing.
Okay, here we go. That's part two, because part one is established, and each one told a little scenario about it. And then we're going to go to that second level. I see where you're going. That's for part two. So finish yours right quick, and then we're going to go into that part two. I got where you guys going.
I got
you ready for part two? Go ahead.
Exactly.
Finish it. Okay.
Now, see,
Your
one
three
thing
levels.
I didn't do is jump on each one of you. What you said,
No,
each person.
we got you. No.
Okay.
No, we got you guys.
Your
I
levels.
said-
Listen,
I
We're
just
looking at
wanted
your
a question.
we're looking at your levels
No,
first.
I
we
was
got
just thinking about the topic.
that's the situation next. So let's go. We want to find everybody's level right now. Then we're just gonna go ahead and
Okay,
just
well,
chop
can
it.
I ask him a question about the guy who came, who called him or came when he?
Well, you could ask him anything. I mean, that's on him to answer or just defer.
Did you ask him, or did he tell you how he knew that something was wrong? Because that's intuitive.
Yes.
Because he was way on the. I'd be interested in knowing the quality of the person who could tell, hey, my friend is
what I
something's wrong with my friend.
see. One of the things that I mean, that since we're going to go, this for the sake of conversation, the intricacies of my friendships, since I'm the focus, is this. I don't put assignment. I'm not putting an
Excuse me,
assignment.
I just thought the focus was friendship. I didn't know. You guys didn't tell me didn't give me the rules.
Remember, wait, you
Hey,
I was in that same position. Remember we talked? I was in that same position.
Okay. Let's get back on. Let's get
Okay,
on. Okay, because we want
the
your three.
intricacies of my different friendships.
Yes.
20 years of friends, I can't go into that in this time because we got 3 people on the panel
Okay.
to talk about all the dynamics. This is just a snapshot
Right.
of a situation. It didn't take a year for us to come together and talk. But the church, the secondary, and all the extra extended friends associations, he was embarrassed behind what he did. It took him a year to come to what we once had.
Okay.
His invitation never
I got
ended.
it. Yeah.
He was always open, but we don't have the time to go into.
I got you.
No, that was
issue.
good. I mean,
You
that was to the
understand?
point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand? But to your question, I appreciate your questions because if my life is that interesting that it's stirring up these so many questions, I want to answer them.
Right. No, we got that. Now, so here comes to my second part, guys, right now. My second part to it is, and Troy, you might be standing by because I hear you get, okay, my second part is, okay, the level of friendships that we've had, right? At what time do they either elevate, upgrade, or they can downgrade or just be out of your life? Because there's certain times when you have a friend that you just have to just let go. And so the question is, was they really a friend? If they come at you and do something that was aggregate to you and you didn't see it coming, so that's a whole different thing in it. The friends we lose, and we end to cut them off.
Right.
Go ahead. There you go.
It's what you said is excellent. With me, just talking about my system,
Right.
Everybody has an A+ when I
Okay.
meet you.
Okay.
How long you keep that A
Wow.
is up to you. You know, boom, there's something. I may look at you and go, okay, well, I'm a people person. Plus, I'll say, hey, I didn't like that, man. You know, what was up with that? You know, where did that go? I'm a person that's I'm gonna talk to you.
Okay.
You know, if we got to thump it out, that was a long time ago.
Right, I got you.
You know, but even back then, I would be like, man, what was that? What was that about? Right? And then I'll go, okay, and then it'll happen again. I'm like, oh,
right.
There go you to drop from an A+ to a B. We still cool.
Wow. Okay, I got you.
We still cool, but I'm watching you. You know, and so it's very, in my system, is very, how can I say it? I don't let it get that far till it's like a F, D,
right,
or C+, or, you know, a C+ is just a glorified D to me.
But when it's getting there, what do? You just say, hey, forget you, don't call them back no more? What do you do at the time?
What happened with me at one time, I said, well, you know what, man, you know, we going 2 different places.
Okay.
You know, and we cool. I have nothing against you, but I'm going to go this way. You know, and I'm gonna go, you know, and then you got some people that can't take rejection.
Right.
Men and women, you know, they want to duke it out, fight, bust, whatever. And
what do you have to do? What do you do in that situation?
In that situation, I mean, I whipped plenty behind that, but then I did a lot of talking too.
Okay.
Or we just
part
and went on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Hey, man, I love you too, man, but I'm going this way.
Right.
And for a good example, I had a friend. We were real tight as young, but he went this way, and I went that way. And I'm gonna call you. What's up, Kevin? If you're hearing, it's Judge Ross, Kevin Ross. That's on TV now. Boss Ross.
Right, we know him. We know him.
Yeah, and we grew up a little bit, you know. So, but he went that way because I saw he was always into, you know, the
judgmental.
Well, I wouldn't say judgmental. No, I wouldn't say that, Kevin. I didn't say that, man.
I did.
But you know, he was always into, you know, things to do for the community and all that at like 13 years old, and you know, 14, and going that way. So he went that way. Also, Dr. Sutton, Clarence Sutton Jr., that's my friends. He left the band. He was my first guitar player. He left the band to become a surgeon,
right,
and a well-known one. And so, and I still talk to them today.
Right.
I have a whole lot of friends, psychiatrists, that, you know, people that I grew up with, and you have to allow someone to grow. Right.
As well as yourself.
In so many words.
Right.
Out of all that, you have to allow people to grow.
Right.
And if you come back together, it's all good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good. Now, Linda, I know that you've had a few people you done had to, you know what I'm saying, either upgrade or downgrade in your life. So
I really don't, because I told you in the beginning, no, they don't get there. They don't get to intimate if they, you know, he says A, B, C, which is another way of saying it. I have a lot of people I've met. I've been all over the world. I have a lot of people I have met, and they are casual. Casual, if I talk to someone in line at the supermarket, they're casual. If they say something I don't like, so what? It's not a problem, and I don't have to be rude to them, because I may never see them again, or if I see them again, I'll be polite. But they're not on they won't make it to the inner circle. The people that can really hurt you are the people you allow in close. Those are the people that can hurt you. So all that other outlaying, and I have people that I went to school with that I've known for years, and I look at them as family. Some of them as family. That's how close we are. You know, that's my sister, or that's my brother. I went to school with them and all the way up, and raised our kids, and our kids are friends, that kind of stuff. But for the general public, you're casual until I get to know, and then you can move to personal, where I might invite you to a party. You know, I might invite you to something, and, you know, get a feel. But I think it's more like, do we share the same values, or the same morals, or the same ideas, or are we headed in? I don't care that we're not head in the same direction as far as careers and stuff. But do we share values?
Right.
I don't care if you're a Republican if you share my
Right.
values, or I don't care if you're a Democrat if you share my values.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I do it, because I think with my 20-something years in personal growth and development, I've had to grow personally myself. So I don't try to put those kinds of restrictions on other people, because I had a lot of growing and developing to do. And I probably still have some growing and developing to do. So, no, I don't, they just stay casual.
I got you. I love that. D. Carey Sims.
I think that I use some of the same philosophies that you use. Everybody's don't make it to the inner circle. And I said earlier, we're complicated, so we have to grow. So one of the dynamics of my friends. Now, I've had situations where I think that respect is more important in my arena of the guys who I call them, because I got a friend of mine named Candace. We've been friends since we've been children. We're like brother and sister, and we can talk to each other, and sometimes we just cut each other, but it's so much respect there, for not just the intellect, it's not just the talents or anything like that. It's also the person, and we share that same, and it's never went any other place, but just pure respect for one another. And so that for me, and for some of the people I can identify and say that I've been around, that I call my brothers and my sisters, because I have their respect is like of most importance, because it gives us access to each other to those dark areas. And because a lot of us, we all have suffered some kind of failures, catastrophic circumstances, that your character, we know each other by character, that this isn't something that this crew, i.e., and sometimes they all don't know each other like that, we all don't run in a pack, some of us do and some of us don't, right. But it's the respect aspect. Now, when people begin to disrespect you, that brings a whole new dynamic into the friendship, that it makes it very difficult to navigate, especially when there's no, what I call, repentance or accountability.
No, I got that, and I appreciate what everybody said on that one, because I needed to have everybody put it out there and then look at it. But like I said, clarifying, I have a tendency to win friends and influence people, so to speak. Over the years, people just kind of like click to me, and a lot of them are doctors and professional people. And I just happen to have three major doctors that white, Jewish, and my brother up here, African American. And like I said, see, sometimes you have to disassociate sometimes from your friends. And answering your question before, when I use the example, don't go by looking, because like I said, they're very good friends of mine, but they were just seeing me for the checkup, and that's all they saw when I walked in there. And I'm always just staying in the gym, because that's what I do. I don't have a life. So when I feel frustrated or whatever, I go bust out a gym for 3 or 4, but it showed. And so when I walk in and you're all ripped out and whatever, they're looking like dog. And so they're not giving you some of the tests they may give if they saw me and I look kind of wrangled every time they see me, or I'm losing weight or whatever. Right? But I slimmed down, took all that extra weight off me, that it would have more personified the disease or whatever. It's called a disease, let's face it. But see, I had to learn it on my own, because they didn't tell me, dude, pre-onset means this is just stop eating the sugar. Nobody came and brought it to me like that. And I wish they had. And somebody told me later, dude, quit making your doctors your friends, because I'd rather you come in there and tell me what's going on. If I'm dying, tell me I'm dying. If you're too good a friend to me to where you're not telling me I'm dying and I die, something's messed up with that. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I want people to rather to tell me the truth, but people have a tendency not to tell me the truth. They would hurt my feelings or whatever. So I don't let myself be caught up with people that much. I really don't care. Mm-hmm. It may look like I do, but I really don't. So how can you hurt somebody's feelings? Like I said, I don't blow smoke up my own butt, so how can somebody else do it? I don't care what people say, what they think, because I'm going to do me. And that's what I've learned to be, because I'm a self-acclaimed loner. That works for me. In the pathway I'm on, it works for me. But see, the conversation we brought today was good because it allowed everybody to be in there. But I just wanted to make that point, because sometimes you can't look at somebody and determine what's going on. Sometimes they don't know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the two hurts in my life, the women that I really, really, really kind of like said, hey, they're really cool. both of them died with cancer, and neither one of them told me at the time that they had cancer. And Linda, you made a good point, because I don't know if it was for the point of not wanting to bring me involved in the situation, or it was on a need-to-know basis or whatever. But if you have levels of friends, if you consider me to be somewhat of close friend, past just a casual, and something you know that you've got it on writing and you know what's going on, it is fair to me to let me know. Let me make the judge of whether I want to deal with it or not. Don't just hang up the phone and not be around me because you don't want to. And see, that's what hurt me the times I have. So there's some people there's some people going through that right now. We're just addressing what people go through, and that hurts when something like that happens. Go ahead, Linda.
Well, I had that happen to me, and not only did that person not tell me, but they requested that I speak at their service, but I understood that it wasn't about me. It had nothing to do with me. He didn't tell his children. There were a lot of people he didn't tell, and there are people that do that. Now I don't know why.
Right.
Now his wife told me that he planned everything, and he wanted me to speak, and I'm like, I'm crushed.
Right.
He didn't tell me, but I realized it had nothing to do with me, Daryl. It had nothing to do with you.
Right.
It was the frame of mind that they were in, and like he said, maybe they wanted to
My
protect
father did
you.
that to me.
Or sometimes people think they've done something, feel like they've done something wrong because they didn't take care of their body, or just any kind of thing could be going through their mind.
Good, thank you.
So try not to take it personally, because I could not believe I had seen him and didn't know.
Right,
and I wouldn't say we were friends. We were actually professional partners in crime, in well, not crime, but speakers, as what we do. And I would see him the second Saturday of every month, and he didn't say a word.
Right. No, that's a good point to make, because for our audience they're listening to us that want to say, well, these things. So I like what you said about giving everybody an A. I don't. I give everybody an F, and they working from there. I ain't no playing with me. I ain't got no time to downgrade folks like that. No, if you got to make your way up in there and step it up, and so it's easy. When you make a C and you lay at the level C or D like that, I ain't got to be with you. Synergy's not mixing, you gone. So we got to do, guys, in this 1 minute apiece. 1 minute. I'm timing you. Toastmaster style. We're gonna start with you over there, Troy. 1 minute to let us kind of wrap up this thing in your words right quick, and let's get it done. All right.
Well, since I only got 1 minute, I want to read something. Ointment and perfume rejoices the heart. So doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. And I want to leave you with that.
Thank you. Wow, deep. Okay.
Words or those? You're not going to tell us.
Oh,
That's like the Bible, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
That's the Bible.
That's fine.
Let me give you the address.
She's an author. She knows you got to add them
got to add
footnotes.
Let me give you the
Not so
address.
much fuss.
Proverbs
No.
27:9.
Okay, you guys got that. Okay, going over to Mr. Carey, the Carey Sims. Carey, go ahead. You got a minute.
There are relationships that are worth everything to maintain, and there are relationships that, for whatever reasons, that weren't divinely set for you in your life. Sometimes you got to cut it. Sometimes everybody's not your friend. You can't call everybody a friend.
Right.
Like you said, I believe people have to earn your friendship.
Well said. I like that. You got to earn it. All right, let's go over to Miss Linda. Miss Linda. Yes.
Well, like I said, my business is personal growth and development, and I believe every human being I can come in contact with, I can help in some way. So I don't write anybody off immediately. I don't start with the F and have them work their way up. They are a human being. We'll have a conversation. We'll have a conversation, and whether they're homeless on the street, to me, it doesn't matter. All human beings have value. That doesn't mean they're going to end up on my intimate list or even my personal list.
Right.
So they are a casual, someone I just met, had a conversation with. I'm known, that's my husband, I'm known to ask him 3 or 4 or 5 questions just to find out what's going on with them, what's happening in their lives. What does that cost you?
Right, you're right. No.
Yeah, and so I might be the only person that spoke to him that day. Who knows? So
That may
I
be
just
right. That
but
may be the best
no,
news.
they're not my friends.
Right.
And a lot of them will never be.
Right.
But I'm a person that honored their humanity.
Amen.
And that's sometimes the best words and the best actions that people see in a day, because we don't know what they've gone through, may come from you. So just let's let that light shine in you. Like I said, I'm just that one that gives everybody an F. You got to work with it. Everybody's not doing it. I'm not telling everybody to do that. Look, we're just look.
What's the F for? Finesse?
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen out there, I hope you found your way through out there, and we were able to help you on some conversations today that you can use. Like I said, you can have a grading system if you want to, but somehow you've got to have synergy. If you meet people with synergy, then that works. If it doesn't work for you and it's not your synergy, it's not your thing. Everything is not everybody's thing. So if it's not for you, you just got to leave it alone. Okay. So what we do each and every week is we bring out different topics and then we talk about it. We give our opinion. This is our opinion only. That's a disclaimer. Okay. You have your own opinion, put in your own style. Hopefully we can bring some different things for your motivational, and if nothing else, start the conversation. So from Miss M, from Lady D, Consulting Entertainment, get well out there. From our panelists, D. Carrie Sims, from Troy, the Box Mason, and from Miss Linda Coleman. This is D Nice, and like I said, each and every week, man, give us a hit up if you want to talk about something. Gospel Jazz Connection at yahoo.com. GOSPELJAZZ Connection CONNECTION at yahoo.com. And put God first, and everything else will follow. That I guarantee. Until next week, God bless.
Amen.